Dear students, today we are going to discuss the VI graph for a conductor for a semiconductor when their temperature are kept constant and when it is varied. And apart from that, we will also talk about the drift. We will also talk about the mobility. We will define mobility and we will find the SI unit of mobility. So let us start here. You have already learned that for a good conductor the VI relation is always linear, means the VI graph is always a straight line, but that statement is true for some moderate voltage value. Once the voltage increases, then in that case the linearity is disobeyed slightly. So here you see we have taken the VI graph for a conductor and we have plotted voltage along the y-axis and current along the x-axis. Here you see the upper line curve is for any temperature T1 and the lower line is for any another temperature T2 such that T1 is greater than T2. And for that case, within the moderate voltage range, the linearity is maintained and the resistance of the conductor for higher temperature, that is when T1 is greater, will be the resistance of the conductor will be also greater. So this is about the conductors obeying the Ohm's law. That means the current is proportional to the voltage applied, potential difference applied across the conductor at a given constant temperature. When we vary the temperature, the resistance, when the temperature is increased, the resistance and the resistivity both increases. Now we talk about a pure semiconductor. In pure semiconductor, what you see that the graph is no longer ohmic, means the voltage and current relationship is not a linear straight line, and in this case what happens, of course we are not having a temperature 0 Kelvin, because as 0 Kelvin we don't have any free electron in a semiconductor, so it won't have any current flowing. But we are taking some temperature T1 or at room temperature or maybe something different from the 0 Kelvin. The moment we move from 0 Kelvin, few of the charge carriers are released from the molecules. The covalent bonds are broken due to thermal agitation and thermal energy, and therefore they start conducting. But you see that when we increase the voltage, the current increases slightly, of course to great extent linearly, but after attaining certain value of current after that the current becomes nearly saturated. The reason behind is that whatever free electrons were available in the semiconductor are being now utilized for the flow of current. So now further increase in potential difference applied across the semiconductor do not increases the magnitude of electric current because the charge carrier is not available there. But for further increase in potential difference applied across the semiconductor, a situation may come when the electrons break out from their bonds under the influence of electric field applied, and that is called field emission. So we will talk more about field emission in coming chapters, but right now we can understand that by some influence of electric field, higher electric field applied, more and more charge carriers are getting liberated, and therefore they now contribute for the electric current, and hence the electric current then increases. So this is a overall picture of the voltage current graph for a semiconductor. Here you see at higher temperature the resistance of the semiconductor becomes low. This is because that at higher temperature more charge carrier are available, and the resistivity of the semiconductor decreases, and as a result the resistance is also decreasing. We have earlier talked while we were discussing the relation rho, that is resistivity in terms of mass and Ne square tau. We were discussing that how for a semiconductor the resistivity decreases with increase in temperature. We have discussed it earlier, so I will request you, if you don't bear it in your mind, you can refer to that lecture. So that way current is now no longer proportional to the potential difference applied across the conductor, and therefore this is called non-ohmic graph. It is no longer a straight line, it is not a straight line at all. Now we talk about some new term which is called mobility. What is mobility? We will see. We define mobility as the ratio of drift velocity per unit electric field applied across the conductor. Now in this case we invariably take the magnitude of drift velocity and the magnitude of electric field, so that the mobility remains a scalar. And when you feed the value of drift velocity, if you keep the value of drift velocity over here and you feed the value of electric field in terms of V by L, because you know you have a relation, you all know about it, E is equal to minus dV by dr. So from this relation we have dV is equal to E into dr, and therefore we have for electric field dV by dr, that means V by L. L is the length of the conductor and V is the potential difference applied across the conductor. So this is one format of the mobility. Now students, from this we can derive the SI unit of the mobility of the charge carrier. You see it is a scalar because we have defined like this, and the SI unit will be, you see in drift velocity we have meter per second, and length is in meter, so we have meter square, and that divided by voltage, and this second goes down, so voltage second, meter square per volt second. Since drift velocity is in the order of few centimeters only, so usually instead of mentioning it in meter square, we mention it in terms of centimeter square voltage second. Now you see, as the drift velocity is given by E tau by me, we have already derived it using the relation V is equal to U plus AT, and we have taken U average as 0, and so drift velocity is E tau by me, where E is the electronic charge or the charge on the charge carrier. Each charge carrier, E is the capital E is the electric field applied across, and the conductor, and tau is the relaxation time. Mass me is the mass of the charge carrier. So from putting this value of drift velocity in this relation, we have for drift velocity we have E tau by me, and that divided by E, that is drift velocity by L per unit electric field magnitude only. So the expression, in this expression E in the numerator is cancelled by E capital E in the denominator, so we are left with E tau by me, and that means the SI unit of the mobility, SI unit of the mobility will be coulomb. Tau is relaxation time, so it becomes coulomb second divided by mass, that is kg. So we write coulomb second per kg, or if we write the coulomb in terms of ampere second, you see current is equal to charge by time, and therefore we can write charge is equal to current into time, and therefore coulomb will be written in terms of ampere second. So for coulomb we can write ampere second, and 1 second was already there in the numerator, so it becomes ampere second square, and that divided by kg remains there. So this is all about today's work. Thank you and have a nice day.